Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering creativity. I'm Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. Just a heads up, everyone, that my new book, Entangleism, The Small Science and Big Art of Loving Your Life, is out and available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. I encourage you to check it out. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Tomoko Fujita, who serves as the coordinator of the Cali Pathways Project and assistant professor at the Cali School of Music at Montclair State University. I know that was an intro, but Tomoko, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure to join you.
Well, so I'm so excited to talk with you about the Pathways Project. But I thought first it might be good if you kind of, just give us kind of a sense of the breadth and the overall scope of the offerings at Cali.
Well, the Cali School of Music is at Montclair State. Let me start over again.
Sure.
The Cali School of Music at Montclair State University offers many programs from music performance, music education, music therapy, and our newest offering is a recording arts and production degree. We're very proud to serve our community of Northern New Jersey, and we have quite a diverse population of students.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And of course, already, right, an interesting breadth of that work. And you're, of course, served as an assistant professor. And can you share with us kind of, obviously your focus and area of expertise?
Absolutely. So I spend about half my time as a cello professor, and I teach chamber music and a pedagogy class as well. And then the other half of my duties are the Cali Pathways Project.
Awesome. So that takes us into the Pathways Project. Can you share what is the scope of it, and especially how did it kind of, come about? What is its genesis and overall mission?
The Cali Pathways Project is an initiative of the Cali School of Music that seeks to support talented high school students from under-resourced backgrounds with a desire to pursue music in higher education and professionally. It came to be our previous director, Tony Masaki. He had been working with other Pathways programs around the country in his work as executive director of the Kinhaven Music School. And he thought, well, if the goal of many of these programs is to get students to music school, college music programs, why not have a Pathways model project in a university setting? So the Cali Pathways Project is the first of its kind at a university. Sadly, we are still the only, but we feel very passionate about investing in the young people who are in the surrounding communities, and so that we're growing our own talent. There are music schools in general are sort of competing over the same students of a relatively small applicant pool, and it becomes like a bidding war of scholarships. And the Cali Pathways model demonstrates that we can expand the applicant pool by investing in students at an earlier age and building meaningful relationships with students who may then choose to continue as college students, all while keeping the costs of college affordable.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And of course, right, that is so necessary trying to build those either bridges or on-ramps, et cetera. And so for those in our audience, who are looking and they may be at their own institution and they're thinking, oh, can we potentially, develop something like this, et cetera. So first, I would say, could you kind of just share with us kind of what does that map look like? So a student is looking to actually become part of the Pathways Project. How does that happen initially? Do they have to go through an audition, et cetera? And then kind of how does that journey chart for them, and how long are they in the program, et cetera?
First, answering about your prompt about thinking about organizations who might want to start a Pathways program. I remember hearing very early on at a conference, one of the Pathways managers spoke about nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And I take that with me as sort of my mantra. We have 47 students in our program. This is only like a part-time job essentially for me. And yet I think we are making an impact. So I think, like I say, it's sort of the call is everybody can do something, even if none of us feels like we can do everything. Our program starts in terms of recruiting students. We start with a nomination process. So we feel like an audition is not necessarily the fairest way to assess the student's potential when that student might never have taken private lessons when they are being compared to students who are taking private lessons. So what we have chosen to do is we rely on the professional educators and ensemble directors, private teachers, professional musicians who can see, who maybe know a child and see the spark and understand a little bit about what the challenges of that student is at home or in their community. And we start with that. So we have a call for nominations in spring. Once we have done that, once we've received a nomination, we invite the student to send in an audition video. Not any particular requirements other than show us what you can do in 5 minutes. We want to see your musical potential, and oftentimes you can hear when a young student, even if they maybe don't have all the technical skills, their musicality is still pouring out somehow. And those are the students that we are really eager to bring on. Once they have kind of piqued our interest in the audition round, then we conduct an interview and get a sense of, hear from their perspective, what their experiences have been, what their dreams are.
That's awesome. And also, I just love how kind of the way in which you're getting to know the prospective students, and obviously from their current kind of musical teaching environment, those who are engaging with them, and then what do they have to offer currently as it relates to their instrument, but then also who are they as a person, as a human being, and how will they take utilize a program like this. So that is great. So now then you ultimately go through the selection process, they're in the program, and then what is then that scope of time frame that they're with you, and to the end of that, are there either specific goals or metrics by the end of their time with you in the program that you're like, here's what we would like to see. We feel we will have been successful with the program if X occurs by the time they've completed it.
Yeah, so we accept students from grades, let me try that again. We accept students from grades 8 through 12, and we make certain priorities like private lessons, making sure each of our students has an excellent private teacher. We also want to make sure students have an instrument that will allow them to continue growing as an instrumentalist. We're not going to buy necessarily forever instruments, but we do feel we're able to provide them with instruments that are of a quality that will not hold them back in college. Then we're also trying to make sure that students and their families have information about what the opportunities are. The obvious obstacles are often the financial ones, but it's also informational or the networking to understand, to gain knowledge about what the opportunities are that allow for the kind of growth that make a college music program attainable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sounds great. That is absolutely awesome. And then ideally, when they're completed the program, do you keep in touch with them or any kind of things when they've completed?
We're very proud to be in our 5th year, which means that now our our first class of students are now seniors in college. About half of our graduates have chosen to attend MSU. So we have a community of Pathways students at the college. And for what I've really enjoyed in this, as we have grown, is now our college students are giving back to our high school students. So we've just begun a mentoring program where we have 6 of our college students mentoring our high school students, and they're very eager to share their experiences and encourage the high school students, to keep at it.
That is so perfect to actually then see that come full circle. And that's a phenomenal, also, I would think, percentage of students who are then actually going specifically to Cali. So that is fantastic. So this is a wonderful program. Obviously, I am sure it is incredibly fulfilling to be able to lead these efforts for the school. But we're almost out of time, but I like to always ask this question of all my guests, which is that even though it's just such an incredible experience, there must be those tough days, right? Or where things aren't all coming together or everything's overwhelming. And just wondering, as an arts leader, are there any mechanisms or things that you do that help you through those toughest of times?
I think that one of the important things as an arts leader is to have a community of people to bounce ideas off. I know that that's been one thing, with Equity Arc and our national Pathways Collective, the shared knowledge, sharing best practices. I've gotten so much inspiration from them and their work, and whatever the challenges are, we know that we're not tackling them ourselves.
Tomoko Fujita, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Just a heads up, everyone, that my new book, Entangleism, The Small Science and Big Art of Loving Your Life, is out and available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. I encourage you to check it out.